Looks like we got something going, and we do. There we are.
Sweet.
All right. All right.
Cool. Are we sharing now? Are we sharing?
We are coming with the slides today, it looks like.
Already. Let's go.
This actually looks really cool. I'm looking on the YouTube live feed. It's got you and I's faces on either side of like the screen, so we can like point at stuff and whatnot.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know who we are, my name is Mike Krausen, the CEO and co-founder of AR Funnel. This is Baker Shields, the co-founder and COO. And today we just ask that you listen to here and see what it is we actually do. We go live every Friday at noon Central to essentially help coaches generate more revenue inside their business. But what we actually do is build automated lead funnels for online coaches and help them essentially get more clients, right, acquire more clients, and then retain them longer, which is acquisition and retention funnel. So go ahead and hit subscribe, like, share this video if you find it valuable for you, maybe some of your other friends, because today we're going to dive in to what it is that we actually do. So if you're the person that says, if I can just talk to them, I can sell them, you're an ideal client. And so if you're like me or Baker, you come from this background of being an in-person trainer, like people is what you do, and it's what you do best. Building funnels is not my forte, which is why when I first started in 2012, I made $12,000 for the year. And now people make that in a day. It's because we built the systems to make it all work, right?
Made 15, by the way.
So you did better than me. Yeah. So a little bit about my background. Since I made this, we'll talk about a little bit about me today.
Yep.
I'm going to Baker run his next go round. But in 2017, I co-founded Rise Supplements and Coffee Over Cardio. And you may or may not have heard of these supplement brands and a coffee brand. But whenever we started this companies, like we didn't have the opportunity to sell over the phone. We didn't get to have the opportunity to handle objections. We couldn't have people buy into us so they would buy from us. We had to use systems. Text messages and emails are the only way we were actually able to sell people. So we had to focus on conversion rates, not conversations. And so whenever we got into doing marketing, 2018, to where we worked with over 100 different fitness businesses since then. And some of these brands you may or may not recognize essentially, but we did the landing pages, we did the e-commerce, we did the shipping software connections, we did the ads, the emails, text messages, Shopify, like the works. And we basically had to focus on how can we convert as much traffic as possible into actual clients and leads. And so that led us to understanding when we built AR, what do we got to focus on? 3 major automations that we essentially set up inside coaching businesses. And the first one is our automated lead funnels. This is new cash. This is what we're known for. This is why people come to us in the first place, is to help them generate more leads inside the business. Now, as we've gotten better and better and better, funnels have essentially adapted and become better. And so now that we've worked with hundreds of coaches at this point, we've been able to set up some really great things like the automated application funnel, to where this helps you get the missed cash. And so, this is one of Baker's big things, is working on the back end of things. And it's like, how many coaches have to manually reach out to people to fill out their type form or their Google form or Jot form? And then from there, how many people don't respond to the email that you sent, right? Like Baker, from all the people that come over, and Baker works with people that normally do north of $25,000, $30,000 a month. Yep. How many people come through that have applications as their number one thing and they have to manually reach out to people?
I say it's a vast majority of, honestly, it's about 50-50 for mine. About 50% of them are just running some sort of like a freebie or DM automation. And then they just have like a massive team on the back end manually reaching out to everybody that comes in. Or they are pushing really hard to a type form, which is what they're using before they use AR funnel. And they're having a massive team manually reach out to everybody that fills out their type form and sending every single person they start a conversation with their type form. So I think it's 50-50 between those two kind of bottlenecks.
And then I would say for coaches that are just like doing less than 20,000, that doesn't have the team yet, correct me if I'm wrong, we're manually reaching out to every single person, and most of the time it's via email, or you're
Hmm.
smart and using your personal cell phone. And I
Yeah.
say smart because text message is great. However, now how many people have your personal telephone number?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so you have to pick and choose. And so now we're able to create that automated, and I'll walk through what that looks like. And
Well, the
remember,
problem is
automated.
before you move on too much, Mike, the problem is with that type of system, I guess, especially for the solo coach, is like you're posting on social media with the hopes of going viral, but you don't have any potential system to handle that.
If
So
you
if you
did
go
go viral,
viral, yeah, if you go viral and you get 200 applications tomorrow, that's going to take you between onboarding, these conversations, sales calls, reaching out, like all the, that's going to take you months to work through that. And by that time, half of the leads that you get to are going to be dead leads by then, cold
Mhm.
leads.
And we
So
see that
it's,
often. People don't realize it's impulse purchase when it comes to fitness, and I'll dive into that a little bit. But
yep,
then it's like you did run a scholarship that we put into play for you, and you had 100 applications. You got to onboard 20 new people this week. How are you going to be able to manage that if you don't have an automated onboarding process? Even before the automated process, how can you handle having 50 calls? Are you sending people to a Calendly that you have to manually book? Are they having to do it? Like, it's just not as smooth and clean and easy. And you have to manually send over that to everybody to do. And if that's via email, like, that's atrocious. So
yep,
there's a lot of automation we put into play that help the business grow and but also scale. And for those coaches doing north of 15,000 a month, you just naturally get a lift inside the business by just automating stuff and saving time. And so when we're able to save that onboarding time, that's less employees having to make things, or you drop less balls, if you would, simply because we're not having to worry about, I got a sales call in 5 minutes, but I need to get over this person's contract. I need to make sure they get their health history form. I need them to sign the photo release. We can automate that entire process.
yep,
So this is what it looks like. We set up step by step your link in bio, where we then collect the person's information and we gather that leads info. And then we pump them into AR, where we're going to have these automations set into place. And this is what we essentially call like our 3-step funnel. But this is what it looks like from the lead standpoint, right? So if you want more leads inside the business, let's talk about automating the lead process. So we want to drive 10x more conversations in the next 90 days. How I said conversations over applications. Like, the more conversations you're going to have, the more money you will make. Remember, if you're the person that says, I mean, if I can just talk to them, I can sell them, then all you need is just more conversations. You don't need more clients. More clients come from you having more conversations.
hmm
So what we do is we'll connect your AR funnel or integrate a DM process, like an automated DM, like a mini chat, we're able to replicate. When somebody wants to get our free macro calculator. Now, Bigger, tell us really quick, what is our free macro calculator, and talk about that IP that we have.
Yeah. So essentially, a team member of ours who's typically on these, you guys have probably seen her, Felicity. She took it upon herself after getting requested to, like, hey, could the system do something like this? She literally just went nuts on it, and she built out from top to bottom. A person can come to you and fill out a form wanting free macros, where you would traditionally have to go in and manually actually calculate out their macros using whatever method that you're using to calculate them. A person comes to you, they fill out a quick form, and then within 17 minutes, it generates them a message, a text message, and an email. And the only reason it's 17 minutes, by the way, is just because we want it to feel more natural, rather than just like auto generating it. Then they know you didn't set their macros. But it sends them back immediately calculated macros based on their goals. It tells them, hey, based on your goal, here's some sample numbers you could follow. And then it asks basically a leading follow-up question. And it never asks the same one twice, right? That's something that I came in there and kind of edited the flow to make sure that we want this to be, sometimes people will come in and they'll fill out, okay, well, what are my macros? I want Baker to fill out my macros for if I'm going to lose weight, if I'm going to maintain weight, or if I'm going to gain weight. And they'll do all three at once, right? And it's great that they're all excited about it, but what we can't have is the exact same message go out like 30 seconds apart 3 times to the same person. So we made it to where that never happens. But they get a leading question that's, have you ever worked with macros before? How do you feel after seeing these numbers? like questions like that to get the person to start to talk or admit that, okay, great, now we have solved this problem of getting these numbers. Now we have the problem of how do I use those? How do I look at these 3 numbers and understand what does that mean in terms of food? What does that mean in terms of my meals? What does that mean in terms of my groceries? And that's the problem now that we get to fix by hopefully having them book a macro consultation call, which is the second step of that funnel.
Yep. So let's walk through it. So people fill out that form, low friction, 0 sales pitch. That person becomes a warm lead. We're going to have AR funnel, auto text that warm lead with the custom number that we give you, with custom messaging to match, essentially messaging them like why they wanted their macros or have they tracked them before, whatever custom message you would want to send to your type of ideal client, right? Because if I was sending this to an athlete, would be different than a mom of 2 trying to lose 30 pounds, right? And then step 4, the warm lead will respond to the text message that went out, triggering the system to remove them from the automated messages. And then step 5, coach then inquires with the warm lead why they wanted the macros and continue to go back and forth, and then try to book a call inside the calendar system that we give you. And once that call is booked, it removes them from all the previous workflows. And then step 6, that person now becomes a hot lead. We get the system to auto text and email leading up to the call, which will dramatically reduce no-shows for the coach. And will automatically send over pre-sales call videos or testimonials or anything that you would want to send over to nurture and warm that lead up before that actual sales call. Baker, walk me through the statistics on what's required to get a person to purchase. Like, what's the percentage and all that?
Yeah, the average, so I guess way above average. 80% of people require between 5 and 12 touch points before you close them, right? If you want to go a little bit deeper than that, before you even get to the touch point aspect, the average person that ends up paying you at all or even becoming a lead at all needs to consume between 7 and 9 hours of your content in order to make that decision as well, right? So you're hearing now, all right, I got to talk to somebody for 7 to 9 hours somehow, right? On content on social media. I don't even know if I posted 9 hours of content ever, right? Might be the thought in your head, but they got to consume that. And then I got to talk to them 5 to 12 times before they're going to purchase after that, right? And so that's why something like what Mike is talking about in the system that we've built that he's kind of taking you through here is so important, because it's really hard to manually reach out to, if you even have 10 leads at a time or 5 leads at a time, somebody 5 to 12 times, much less track how many times you've talked to them, much less follow up if they didn't respond, much less start a completely new conversation about something else in 7 days because they didn't respond to any of your other outreaches and you send them free value. Like, that gets really hard to do on your own.
What's really neat about it is we're actually able to cut down the hours watch time because we get very granular on how we communicate. So 7 hours for me is going to be organically finding you and then filling out an application or them taking the action. But when we go low barrier of entry, like through a free ebook, free macro calculator, join my free community, and then we start the text process, we get to skip ahead on some of that stuff because we're strategically sending over things and having conversations that are speaking to ideal clients' pain points. And so if you're organically doing all of this, then you have to wait for the person that's ready to buy. And they're ready to buy without you doing anything if they're consuming 7 to 9 hours of content. And if we can cut down on that, it allows you to have a quicker from lead to client window, because we're creating those touch points in a very timely manner with intent versus just being organic. So, and then that coach then converts from hot lead to client whenever you get them on the phone, and they come now well prepared by sending all this stuff over prior to them. The next one would be manually reaching out via applications, right? We talked about this a little bit in the beginning. This is what we find every single coach do, and it just gets worse and worse as you get bigger and bigger. So speed to lead, the name of the game. Cole Gordon basically did a study that stated, well, references a study that stated that 40% more people will move forward with you if you can reach out with them within the first 5 minutes. And so it's really important to make a speed here of contacting that person that's ready to buy. Because
This is
remember,
off topic, kind
yeah,
of, Mike. But did you see Alex Ramosi's video yesterday about how he just talked to a business owner that has scaled massively? Because on average, not even like what he tries to do, on average, he's calling every lead or getting every lead on the phone within 60 seconds of an opt-in. He said the dude has scaled massively, but that's why, right? It's your principle that we just talked about on steroids of a lead comes in, someone's on the phone with that person within 60 seconds. Like I just press submit and then now I'm already talking to someone from the company. Like powerful, powerful stuff. But within 5 minutes, guys, we see astronomically higher conversion rates in terms of getting them on a conversation or getting them on a call
yeah.
as well.
The beautiful thing about it is we can actually set that up for you if that's what you want.
We can make it automatic in the
We
system.
can make it to where it automatically calls you as soon as somebody fills an application, or as soon as somebody wants their macros calculated, or as soon as they join your Facebook group. As soon as they do something, we get that name, number, and email. We can have the system automatically call you. Sarah Smith just came in as a new lead. Would you like to connect? Please press any button. Boop. Hey, Sarah, it's Mike over at AR Funnel. Like we can make that happen for you.
Yep.
So let's talk about reaching out. So we connect to AR Funnel application form that we give you to your new link in bio to replace his job form, type form, Google form. People fill out the form. We instantly send them to book a call on the very next page. If they do not book that call, then we'll send them follow-ups. But if you're the person that's like, hey, you know what? Leads ain't my problem. Qualifying leads is now become our issue. Great. We can also have it to where we skip that calendar step. And then based on their answers on the questions that we ask inside the form, we can have the auto text do multiple things. One, disqualify the person. Two, carry into a deeper conversation. Or three, automatically send over the link so they can then get on a call and we automate that process. So this person's qualified, great. Now you don't have to manually look it over and then manually send them the calendar or book it. You can instantly just have the system send it over to it. Hey, sends over. But here's the other thing though. Let's say that you're not that big and you're just like, hey, give me as many book calls as possible. Beautiful. Love that. That's my approach. We'll have it to where AR Funnel will auto text the warm lead for you with custom messaging if they did not book the call within 27 minutes. And we ask them, could you not find a time that worked for you? And then we're going to follow up with that person between 2 and 3 days. Of course, these are all preferences that fit how you want to communicate with your leads.
Yep.
But then when the warm lead books the call, triggers the system to remove them from those automations. And then this becomes the same thing. Hot lead then gets auto text and emails leading up to the call, reducing no-shows, qualifying them, nurturing them. You close them, they become a lead. So now that we have automated lead funnels set in place, we have automated applications set in place, let's talk about automating the onboarding process. So a few things that can happen and will happen is that you'll lose a client through the onboarding process because you dropped the ball from a manual process. But also, too, your coach didn't get the information they needed and they didn't set up the call that was needed, or they didn't get over the information from the sales call. Or you just become too busy as a solo because something went viral. And now all of a sudden you have you're answering all these messages. And then, so now we can automate this process to where you collect payment and then everything happens in order. Step one, we collect payment through AR, which connects to Stripe or various of other different types of payment collections. Then each team member is alerted with all the details from the sales call. So again, if you're a solo person, not as needed, but if you have a team, this allows the setter to be alerted to take action. This allows the coach to take action. It allows the business owner to be alerted on what they need to do next. And then it goes to step three. Client then is auto granted access to your software that you're using, like Trainerize or something of that nature. Of course, if we have an API connection, and also be based off the product that they purchased. So if person purchased product A inside Trainerize, that's what they would get access to. While simultaneously, the client receives an automated email and text with their forms and contracts or whatever else the coach essentially is required to complete the job. So purchase comes through, boom, you can collect the payment over the phone or send them the link. I'm always going to suggest collecting over the phone. Once that happens, automated email that has their contract, automated email that has fill out this form, photo release, text them over the link for them to book their next call with you, or hey, here's the calendar to receive X, Y, and Z, and automate that entire process for them. And you don't have to manually send in that stuff. You can instantly collect the payment. Everything happens. You jump to your next call.
Yeah, I think if I can interject right here, when you're asking what is the biggest and most impactful, I would say, lever that we're pulling for coaches the second they sign up, every single time, what I do is I'll ask a coach to tell me, okay, whenever I'm a client, let's say that I pay right now, what happens? And they take me through, I mainly send this, I copy and paste their name into this email, and then I copy and paste a link into this. And then I text the assistant coach to add them into Trainerize, and then I go through and I have our VA send them over a contract, and I have this and I have that and I have that, and they go through and they spend 15 minutes describing to me their onboarding process. And at the end, and I always let them do that so that I can illustrate, that's actually a pain point or like a bottleneck inside of your business. And so I let them tell me all that. I'm like, cool. So based on everything that I heard, I wrote down notes on all of it. What I'm hearing, right, is that we're going to actually completely be able to do all that for you. Okay. So someone's going to pay and they're going to get the automatic onboarding email with their name in it, with it populated with whatever copy that you want it to be. They're going to get the invite to Trainerize so that you don't have to mess with it. And your assistant coach doesn't have to mess with it either. I can actually give them a plan to start working on too, automatically, to where you don't have to mess with that either. And then your assistant coach can have a little bit more time to actually create the programs. And then I'm going to automatically generate a custom contract with the variables that you want, whatever those variables might be. We'll make it automated for you. And then we'll do this and we'll do that. And I just take them through the entire list of like, the only trigger here is that someone's just got to pay you. And then all this stuff happens. And I always love the look that I get on someone's face, because they'll typically have some sort of an admin, employee on the call, and then their eyes get like super wide. And they're like, I've had a girl ask me before, so do I like still have a job? Because all of her responsibilities had just been taken off her plate. But like, this is a super, super powerful portion of what we've built here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's so important because to me, like, customer journey is everything. Mm-hmm. Customer journey is everything. What is the experience which they're receiving? Is everything all over the place? Did you say I'll send it over, but then forget, and then it never got into their inbox? And then they're having to ask you, hey, I never got the contract. Hey, I never got the form that you said. Can you send it? And it's like, sorry, I sent it. I left off the M whenever I went to manually send it on your email. It's like all these little like monotonous things. I tell people, hey, if you do it more than once, we're going to automate it. That's my goal. And the truth is, if you can think it, we can automate it. Mm-hmm. And what this allows us to do is, going back to here, step 5, the coach receives a notification every time something happens. So you're alerted when to take the next step. Client then goes into weekly check-ins, receives forms via email or text message, or you just send out a text saying, hey, it's time for your check-in. Hope you had an amazing Friday. Go inside Trainerize and complete your check-in. Or fill out this form that we send over via AR. And then the coaching team saves hours each week, and clients are never dropped because of manual errors. Hey, your assistant's sick. Hey, you don't feel great. Hey, you're on the go. Great. Send over a payment link to somebody and they receive everything, and then you're just at the gym. Like, you can't close somebody at the gym if you have to do everything manually, because you go, yeah, I'll send it to you whenever I get done. It's like, what? And you forgot? Oh, and by the way, it's date night. And all of a sudden the person's like, hey man, like, you never sent anything and I just paid you $1,200. And then now there's just buyer remorse. So you have to have a good customer journey.
Yeah.
So the next thing here is, we always get asked, yeah, Mike, that sounds great, but does follower count matter? And the only thing that I say when it comes to followers is just volume. That's all. But most people lack the idea of thinking about conversion rate. Remember when I told you that in all the e-commerce, like, we sold millions of dollars focusing not only on the conversations, because I couldn't conversate. I had to focus on the conversions. And so everything is in the conversion. And if you don't focus on the conversion, then just because you have a link in your bio doesn't mean that it's optimized. It's like saying not focusing on the conversion rate would be like, you just need to eat healthier. And it's like, yeah, but to what end? And the bigger following you have, the less you can get away with not hitting your macros perfectly, right? But if you don't have a lot of followers, guess what you have to focus on? Making every conversation count. Because the leaner you get, all right, lean being a small following, every little thing matters. Like, you don't drink enough water, you can see it when you're 6% body fat. When you have only 1,900 followers, not converting a few people is going to make a big difference because you don't have that many people that you can actually work with. So when we look at someone that's got 1,900 followers, for example, they had 78 leads come in 121 days, was able to collect $16,000 of first-time payments, 52% conversion rate. Something to keep in mind here, let me go through these numbers. These leads are not applications. So if you think, man, you only convert 50% of all your applications, like that's not very good. This is 52% of every single person that gave you their telephone number, not applications. Like there's a really big difference between a lead and an application. And here it is. If I was going to go to apply for an apartment, I'd already looked at the apartment. I knew how much it cost. And I essentially applied to get started. Most people that fill out applications to work with you, odds are they're already bought in. This is just how much does it cost to work with you? This is just the next step to take, which means that they're already more than likely going to purchase. But if somebody downloaded a free ebook, do you think that means that they're going to purchase? Like, probably not. Somebody join your free Facebook or school group, that's not going to put them in the mindset of like, I'm going to buy your stuff. It means they want to learn from you. We could convert a high percentage of everybody, not just applications. So give another example here. 1,100 followers on Instagram, 120 leads in 71 days. They ran a challenge, had a 60% conversion rate of every single lead with $9,000 of one-time payments came through. Not reoccurring, not total over the 71 days, not people that got upsold from the challenge to one-on-one, just first-time money collected by a brand new lead. 33,000 followers, 95 leads, 24% conversion rate, $21,000 collected of at least one-time payment in 93 days. And then 58,000 followers, we had 785 leads, a 38% conversion rate with $67,000 collected within 5 months. Again, one-time payments. Now, what's really cool about this is I don't have anybody on here that's bigger than 58,000 followers. And that's on purpose, because if these people can do it, then what are we talking about when you have a higher following? You have the ability to push heavy volume and a lot of leads. And so conversion rate matters. If you convert 10% of people, it makes a massive difference, because right now, whenever you're only relying on email, 20% of email is opened with a 1.75 click rate. That means 2 out of 100 people are clicking your email. All of these coaches, the worst case scenario, 1 out of 4 purchased from you. Not 2 out of 100 clicked an email. It becomes, it is, to me, catastrophic if you don't have a funnel inside your business. The biggest difference is like people just don't know. I use an application because that's what everybody else does, or I don't know what else to do. But now you do. So what do you get when you work with AR? It's pretty simple, and it's going to be a little bit more than this, but I'm going to break it down. We do a 3-step funnel where we create a link in bio. And then inside the link in bio, we do custom applications. And that's going to replace your Typeform, Google Form, Jotform. And then we're going to message those people via text message, email, Instagram, Facebook, all inside the same platform, inside one thread. And then we're going to have all those automations go through 18 different FitFlow workflows and automations that we build for you. We're going to give you 2 custom calendars, one for consulting calls, aka sell calls, and then consulting calls. And then when you're on the phone with them, you're going to collect that payment through Stripe or Wave or Authorize.net. And then we integrate that with other coaching platforms like Trainerize, where it's automatically added. And then if you want to create courses, you can have them also instant given courses, just like inside school or Kajabi. And then if they did not purchase for whatever reason, we have 60 emails that are pre-written, but 52 of them are going to be pre-written automated emails that one goes out per week, adding value to constantly be in front of that new lead that you got. And you're going to be able to manage all of this through the dedicated mobile app that we give you so that you can answer every notification that comes in on your phone. All that through a 10-digit number we're going to give you, so you don't have to use your personal cell phone or you don't have to use Google number. And then you get tech support and live Zoom call support with us anytime something's going wrong. I mean, did I miss anything on that, Baker? Is that pretty much summing up what AR is?
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect.
Typically what we get, wow, this all sounds awesome, but I don't know how to build this, and I don't have the time to build it. Well, you're in luck because we build it for you. The main reason we build it for you is because I used to be the guy from Alabama that didn't know anything about software. And it took me a really long time to learn it. And because it took me a long time, I never really actually ever got going until I was able to get around more people and hired people that helped me learn on what it is I needed to do. And if you're the coach that's like super busy, right? How do you have time to learn how to do it? Even if you did, they're going to go to your website that you think you need that you don't. And then it's going to look half as good as it should because you're not a graphic designer. And so it just makes more sense to invest, because I always tell people you're going to spend it one way or another. You're either going to spend it through losing clients because you think, yeah, I could do this, and your conversion rate's not good because here you are trying to figure it out versus somebody has it figured out. Or two, you're going to spend it on somebody helping you do it right and doing it fast and correctly. And so it's just like you do with your clients. All of your clients can lose weight on their own. You know what? They don't need you. What do you actually provide? You provide structure, accountability, and speed. I can help you achieve your goal faster. I didn't say that I'm the only one that can help you achieve your goal, but they come to you for the expertise to help them get from point A to point B as fast as possible, safe as possible, and accountability to make that happen. And we're no different. And that's what's really cool about this is that, you know, going back to when we first started, there's a struggle understanding what a lead is and how to build all this out. And at this point, we've set up over 600 different funnels for people. And we currently have one new coach signing up on average a day. So we've gotten pretty good at building funnels. And we got pretty good at putting in scholarships in the play and putting challenges in the play. I mean, I don't know anybody else that's run a challenge better than the people on the platform. And I don't know that people in the scholarship world do better than the ones that you've built for people. See, and here's the thing, is like the framework on what a scholarship is universal. The difference is the speed and how we're able to use text message to our advantage. 97% of text messages are read from the first 5 minutes. And if you're not using that, then you're losing it. It's pretty neat we've been able to do. And man, well, I'll be honest with you, you're the one that's helped put it all together. So.
Yeah, well, it's been a massive journey, and you know, with your ideas and the execution in our product team and like everything that we've been able to kind of build together and put everyone's heads together in their own zones of genius. I think that's what truly makes the platform super different, right? There might be some ones out there that you know, look similar or function similar or something like that, but the idea that they've had the millions of texts and the millions of or hundreds of thousands of leads that have come through, and the you know, thousands and thousands of hours that we've poured into like the optimization of everything and making sure that it's as functional as possible and easy to understand as possible and just as fortified and robust as possible of how we built it. That's really where I think we win across the board is the team that we've built up and just how many hours and reps that not only our clients, but we have in the software themselves, because there's not a person on, I don't know if you realize this, there's not a person in our company that hasn't competed in a bodybuilding show. There's not a person in our company that doesn't still eat out of, to
Rubbermaid
to
containers.
quote the Rubbermaid containers, to quote what you're always saying. Like whether we were in this company or not, we're doing all the same stuff you guys are doing every single day. Like we live and breathe these things as well. And so I think that's why we have
still have coaching businesses that they run on the side.
Yeah. And that's why I think we're so unique is
we're in it, man. Like
we're in it day to day.
We're not marketing people. We're coaches that understand marketing.
Yes.
And that's what allows us to really dive in and help people on a real level. Cause like, I don't need you to tell me what your business is. I know your business better than you know your business. The difference is that you're just the coach that works with a very specific person, but I can help you. I don't mean to rephrase that. We can help you actually speak to that person in a way that makes them actually want to listen. A lot of coaches that, and there's two sides of the coin. You got the coaches that don't know and the coaches that don't have time.
Yep.
And we try to service both equally. And we have different things we put into place for each. Do we need to get leads? Do we need to fix onboarding? Both of those either make money or save money. And that's what's really neat about it. And yeah, that's it, man. If you want to learn more about it, you can click the link below, schedule a quick demo call with us. We can show you what it looks like inside your business and show you over some testimonials and things, people that we've worked with along the way. But you can check out arfunnel.io and we'll be able to go from there.
All right.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yep. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Thank you all. Make sure you subscribe.